Let's talk about State of Origin, eh?
Yes. Origin teams, and it's been a bit of an unfortunate week for both sides.
Yeah.
Started with the Blues losing Jordan McLean early. Hammy during...
Yeah, poor bloke. Hammy during training camp. The bloke's 30. Mm-hmm. He was just about in tears in the presser. And you have to think, at his age and the fact that he's essentially in there replacing Payne Haas, you'd never say never, but that may have been his only opportunity to play Origin.
Yeah, it's a big opportunity, and it's unfortunately misses it through the hammy and
fuck hamstrings, man.
Yeah, and he's got big ones.
He's a massive bopper. He's a massive bopper. Huge it may be a little bit of a left field decision, although without Payne Haas and maybe RCG being blacklisted, out of favour, perhaps, on form, I would have thought RCG had to have been a look in to come into this team, but no, Jacob Saifidi comes in. So
that's the
younger of the Saifidi brothers. Daniel is currently injured. Yes. So Saifidi comes in. How they'll actually line up, I don't know if Saifidi will start or if Polo will start Saifidi to the bench. I suppose we'll find out Wednesday. The other sort of thing worth chatting about, I think, was Jack Whiten missing out on the 17.
There's been plenty of rumours that they might actually change that decision and give him a run there for Stephen Crichton, but
was just about New South Wales' best player in game one, and has been good for the Blues in the past. But
so
do you drop? Do you change a winning formula? Crichton played fine in game two. Do you pick and stick and reward? And bad luck that you got COVID, Jack. His club form hasn't been that good, but I think Jack Whiten is kind of like a Dane Gagai in that. Very different in Origin.
Oh, he's been the Raiders' best though.
I think the thing when I say he hasn't been playing lights out for the Raiders, he has to do too much for the Raiders, and then when you put elite talent around him, he's able to really shine. I think when he does get a run for the Blues.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to see what mind games Freddie is playing with there. And
he'd be pretty stiff on Critter to get named, and then it just be not mind games and Jack come in and play for you.
I wonder if it potentially becomes more a chat about being 14 because they've got two hookers.
Cookie would miss out in that regard, but
that's they switch it now because Appy only played 30 and Cookie played 50.
Yeah, but why would you? I don't know. Why would you name Cookie at 14 again and change the winning formula? Like I can't imagine they change that. I think Appy will play 30 to 35, and then Cookie will run out the rest of the game.
Because their problem was Hines got COVID, so they brought Townsend into the squad.
Yeah, Chad Townsend. How about that?
So they don't have. I guess a backup in that plan for the utility. It's either Cook or where Jack fits in that conversation. But
this is all speculation.
I think you're right. They'll stick with the 17.
I think 1 through 17 will be who plays. It's just like we we're talking about the cricket team before. Is Maxi going to come in? There's all the chats. Maxi's going to be in. As we just watch a miss stumping here in the cricket. I agree. I think it's more just to get talking heads to talk and just speculate. I imagine they line up 1 through 17.
Misdirection. Smoke and mirrors is what we're talking about.
Smoke and mirrors.
Unfortunately for Queensland on the other side.
Yeah, how are you going to handle this? Is this smoke and mirrors? Munster's got COVID. He doesn't actually have COVID. He's got swine flu.
Yeah, well, they've been waiting on the PCR test to come back, but it sounds like they've had multiple rats and they've just it's done. They're both out. So Munster and Murray are both out. For Queensland. So we talked about Oates comes in as direct replacement for Murray.
Can you say his surname? Murray, can you say his surname?
No. I was just like, I'm just checking. I was like, I thought Murray was his surname.
Murray Taulagi.
Taulagi, yes.
His name was Taulagi Murray.
Yes.
It's got a nice ring to it, actually.
But Oates comes in there as a ready-made winger, and he's had a pretty good year so far with some decent ball coming his way, some surface. The big out is Munster.
Yeah, so massive. Changes the whole dynamic of the whole series.
Yeah.
And it'll give you Queenslanders something to whinge about when you lose this game.
Yes. I was trying to work my way through is there replacement 5'8"s because we don't really have the luxury of having all that depth that New South Wales does with the amount of guys that come out in the New South Wales system, to potentially pick a ready-made 6. Some chat about, Ben Hunt, does he go to 6? And they bring on a different utility.
That makes sense with Harry Grant already in the side.
Yep.
Yeah, that I kind of thought that might have been the way that they were going to go.
But they've gone young Tom Deaton, who has been playing 6 and been playing well for the Cowboys, into that spot. We'll have to see what kind of job he does for Queensland. Big shoes to fill. I expect the potential league will start Polo and maybe run him at Tom early and see and
force him to defend.
Yeah, because I think in club land he's got big JT standing next to him, so
he'll have big Tino standing next to him, I suppose, out there, or Lindsay Collins, Papali'i. But I suppose any young, undersized half, that's probably what you're going to expect in a big game, is to get run at, a la Sam Walker.
Exactly.
Who also was a shout to come into this.
Potentially is another 6, So I think it's good. It's kind of rewarded his form and how the club and the Cowboys have been doing. So I think it's a fair call there. And we'll have to. They've stuck essentially elsewhere. Everyone's 17 with a small change on the bench there with Tom Gilbert coming in. And is that?
Have you seen much of him?
No, I
Cowboys
haven't.
Second rower. No. I was looking up his stats. Doesn't really, warrant, selection just based on stats, although I can't say I've watched every minute of Cowboys games
and
this year.
He's the Kafusi replacement, I'm assuming?
Yes, yep. So he's named at 17. And speaking of rewarding these Cowboys guys, so that's Dearden, Gilbert, McLean, poor fella going to miss out. But a lot of the ins were Cowboys. And Chad Townsend obviously going into that squad. He won't play, but they're getting rewarded for their good season that they're having so far. How do you feel as a Queenslander, honest to God, without Munster and these changes to the sides? It is at Suncorp. Are you still quietly confident, or is it a bit of a concern not having Munster?
Shouldn't be confident as Queenslanders, but that's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, the underdogs. Yeah, the unlosable series for New South Wales in 2019, etc.
Yeah, exactly. You've kind of put all the chips. Your back's against the wall. All the chips against you. You now got to fight your way out of it, and that's exactly where Queensland likes to be. So in that regards, they've got plenty of immortals in that assistant coaching and in the coaching ranks. Like they'll get those boys ready. Queensland-wise, and we'll have to see how it all plays out on Wednesday. Let's hope Billy uses his forwards in the second half.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It will be interesting. I don't know. Again, you don't want to get too cocky, but on paper, no Munster. Geez, you wouldn't hate New South Wales' chances. Although Suncorp, they've got a terrible record there. We did say after losing the first game, they've gone 4 from 20. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
It's a challenging place to win a football match if you're a New South Welshman, but I think it'll be as close as the first game was, within a try, probably under 20 points per squad scored. Yeah, another one of those 16-10 kind of score lines incoming.
See what happens Wednesday.